So I'm out here paying homage to one in my fallen crop. Just by happenstance, really. You know, with all that's happened to me personally, it's been hard to focus, that, and I'm recovering from the rifts carved into my nervous system by the risperidone, out of which these dark demons, such as myth substrate and shadow rhyme, they scale out in tandem, like a climbing team, and they've just been, well, orchestrating events behind the scenes, resting on the shoulders of the microwave men and women sometimes, though usually they don't have the heart, but they're colluding in it anyhow at their little side job, and as a cover. I got some things to iron out, personally. And there's this girl that was crossed by this ritual that we were in, and I didn't mean those things that I said 20 years ago. They took that footage for blackmail purposes as part of, my potential initiation into higher levels of the Order of the Shining Serpent. I've just been an operative out here for them. That's all, an agent of their will. And, we're helping to raise up the police state. There's a lot of money to be made after all. What do you do? What do you do about this? Well, you look after your own affairs, friend. You got to be somewhat self-interested, though. Yeah, I got to turn an eye towards the collective, and because all these people will share the future with you. Some of them will have children and, grandchildren and so on and so forth. You can't easily eradicate them. And you shouldn't try. And I know that most of you are at a level of realization to where you would never think of that. Not seriously, at least not while you're not watching The Walking Dead or something like that. Or you're reading The Road by Cormac McCarthy. A truly great writer. I've read all his books, but nuclear winter is just not a possibility. I was thinking about
the atmosphere of Earth is just too big to
speed switch designs. Something I came up with at the age of 7 after those men dosed me with LSD and raped me and such. Showed me paintings of H.R. Geiger and said, we want these machines to work, not just be these symbolic representations of something. We want these satanic machines to work. So I could roll in some, flashes of those. Just a stream, like a machine gun. And they'd be all modified by different filters and such, and sparking with fade-ins and outs and so on. And there could be sound effects like machine gun fire, or maybe an artillery barrage, bedding down upon a troop of Phantom Slayer soldiers. And all their mechanoids are sprouting off them, and they're just so fearsome and low, but high, very high-minded, All their time travel gear, and It got roped up an old Indian scout, you know. They'll need his expertise. He was an Apache, and they saved him just before a cavalryman's 45-70 bullet smashed his skull like a piece of pottery with intestines in it, warm intestines that they'd cut from a pig in it. Because they're going to make it into sausage and so on, and with whatever they have on hand. Pig intestines being so resilient and stretchy, as we all should be, I think. So, speed switch. Yes, I'm my jig designs today to a team of two CNC machinists, or rather one is, and the other's an engineer, and we'll just see what develops. Yeah, I told them my little ideas, explained everything, and man, that was a real education. Well, I can help you do the same, friend. For the low price of just $9. So we show that book, and I hold it up, and go into the recommendations and our apprenticeship a program and so on.
Tomorrow, phone calls to the Commandant, President, a slew of publishing houses, loan sharks circling the seas, all just having a human experience. 4/14/17. There were more men in their 40s with too much time in strip clubs and extraneous funds invested in torture devices, paying me late-night visits, playing ridiculous hood menace poetry tracks from their recent model SUVs, always dark in color. Put you down, bitch, get your ass back up, bitch. I tried sleeping in a heavily wooded park and a couple of douchebags passed by from different paths as though they were unacquainted. They're such cowards. An hour later, woke from a plodding dream state under thick brush. Wow, so clever. So it's possible my Wi-Fi enabled camera. It's possibly my Wi-Fi enabled camera foiled again. I was so dead set lying in wait for some captain of industry to pass by in his morning run. Some street urchin told me about the H-Corps, surveillance and harassment devices. Talked about his experience with police informants and his past troubles with hard drugs. But our conversation seemed like an interview. I told him that every conversation is an interview. It matters where you sleep. A busy street where there's no place to park, you won't get hardly cooked at all. A delivery truck marked for different business may stop, though, for maybe a minute, try to and exhaust away your faculties. I almost got a job right off this morning, line cook at a breakfast place along the old Asylum Street. The only place they'd let the crazies roam unchained. I had to flip silver coin on Bybee Street where I tried tiredly pedaled to print out some resume. That name had seemed like an omen. Life, liberty, property. It read, and that's the side I'd hoped for. A little later, the sun pierced through the clouds for the first time that day, and I sat near the window at a coffee shop on that street and read the front page of the New York Times. It deployed a Moab, the most powerful bomb on the planet, period. In Afghanistan against a cave complex, the photo made it seem all business. About a boat busted it back to Eugene, thinking this development was good for speed switch. If I can't cause anything to forward progress, I might go off into the tranquil hills for a while and detox from all this. Got a strong feeling the wilderness is where I'll die eventually. It'll be that I have finally had enough. 21618. So I've charged my computer, and I've reopened this document a year later. We've progressed beyond these fire years. It's now the year of the Earth Dog, and here I am in a coffee shop after exiting Oregon State Hospital. My writing there came in the form of a journal, which I'm sure will have classified sections when released to my family. I also produced around 15 very special drawings done with the paltry supplies available to me. They're very good. The sheriffs are pretending to have lost my property bag, wallet, keys, and other effects. The hospital, not much was done to me other than
Basically,
forced
the
antipsychotic
speed switch is
medication, maybe to
for
kill myself on the date. My
the
targeting is all the more
agent
powerful
who
now.
needs to
I've
be
heard
able
the
to break
intense
down the
recitation of the
coupler very
usually
quickly and
subliminal mind control script last good night.
reconfigure it. He wanted to conceal the rifle. He or she really wanted to conceal the rifle, for transport in a public space, however briefly, right? So, it's that is useful. The fact that it can be broken down so quickly into 3 parts and put back together, so quickly is advantageous. Also, it's non-metallic. Nope, it's just one piece of Bolteron and shock cord. Now, this is it's for the most extreme conditions imaginable. This cost me nothing to make, right? But it fits that 5.56 rifle there. There being no ejection port cover to get in the way. But, it's on one side, and then it's on the other, and that can interfere with the closing of a folding stock. Also, the rounds are exposed on the initial side, and mud and grime and blood and motor oil from exploding vehicles can get in there and, stop up the action, prevent it from chambering or something, And so, this is less than optimal right here. And then, on the second time, if we burn through all the rounds, we drop it, you could be losing 2 magazines rather than just one. Speed switch ensures that you use just one. It's actually possible to run a lanyard, from the speed switch to the right when you're so inclined. I don't know why that would really ever be worth it, but it's
down, I'm good.
So, there you are, Mr. Hematite. You must give your body back to the Matrix. Me, I ain't never going back. You'll never take me alive. Mr. Hematite! You're not gonna get away, Mr. Hematite! You're not gonna get away again, you bastard! Get back here!
So, I was set to talk to a real estate agent today about a very modest piece of property. And I saw the information concerning financing it with a VA loan, which I'm eligible for, of course, and I wouldn't be paying much a month at all. Possibly, if I didn't want to stay there, I could rent out the space. It'd just be pretty much pure profit. just a good little investment for me. It's only now, after a whole lot of sorting, that I can even consider such a thing as a VA loan, which I had an MK Ultra injunction against. That and a whole lot of other things that could advantage me, because they wanted me to traipse down this into the depths of this very dark territory, just doing research and being their agent. But my phone shut down, you see, and they do that to me quite frequently whenever I'm about to make some progress in life. It's just that, due to what I've experienced, all right, yeah, I'll be there. Due to what I experienced, I've seen how dangerous the centralization of power is. So I'm for the decentralization of all forms of power. I've seen firsthand that it leads to some terrible things. I've seen it lead to the deaths of tens of millions of people and the reshaping of society.
Get back here!